And we're back. Welcome
Good
all you lovely
morning,
people.
ladies.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Sakina. Good
Good
morning,
Good
Rasha.
morning,
rising.
Gemini.
Good
I
rising,
know, I
lady.
know. Good morning. You know what? We were today we're going to introduce a lady by the name of Blair LM Kelly. She's a book writer, historian, author, and all this wonderfulness.
Oh, that's
And she's
amazing.
pretty popular, yeah, on the internet too. So
Okay.
yeah, we're going to get into that, but I want to finish our conversation that we were having. And Dewey's going to come on. He said he's getting his car, something, and
Okay.
he'll be on a little later, but when he can. But I'm going to finish our conversation yesterday. Um, we got our emails about the telework situation, and we had the union. You know, they were big and bad in the beginning. Like, yeah, we got executive orders to have everybody come in to work and but just keep on doing what you're doing because we don't have nothing written in stone yet. So they're talking big mess, all right? And
That's a
that went on for
privilege.
2 days. Then yesterday they got the written in stone email
In
for
stone.
everybody to come back to work ASAP, and they're giving management upper management 30 days to work all of that out,
To
and
implement it.
people were pissed. Yeah, but
Yes.
what we were saying earlier was that, yeah, well, how, and we don't understand how people are so mad about this when before COVID, we all had to come in the building
We all
every
came in.
single day. Nothing has changed,
Mhm.
right? People just
Yes.
got a little relaxed and thought they could probably do it that way forever. But
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, forever is not a thing. It was
Mm-hmm.
temporary. It was temporary, and people are acting like they're so caught off guard by the come back to work mandate.
I think it has to do a lot with the entitlement. We have these entitlements that we think that we should have um, a say in what our employer tells us to do. But we've got that misconstrued. The employer is the employer, and they set the standard of where they want their workers to be, when they want them to be there, why they want them to be there, how they want them to be there. And so a lot of times we take stuff for granted, and some situations that we could have made the best of, some people took advantage of and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So we're experiencing the backlash of that as well, because there was a lot of issues with system down related issues, but then we had system down related issues in office as well because they were bringing up new applications. So you can't pour old wine into new wine into old wine
Oh,
stacks. It's gonna
there you
burst.
go.
So that's
That's
what's
what it
happening with our
say.
system. But to say the least, we just need to be able to be flexible and roll with it and not get stressed out behind it, because there's no reason to stress out about it. The job is the job. We signed up for it. This is what we wanted. This is what we said we were going to do. This is what we said we are going to get paid. Let's roll with it. If you don't like it, start filling out applications elsewhere. I'm sure there are a lot of places
Yeah.
that are hiring that will let
And
you
I'm
work
pretty sure there's a
telework.
lot of other places too that's not that doesn't have a state, county, or federal mandate to come. You know that you can't do remote working.
Right.
So you have to find you a job
You
where
gotta find your
remote is
job that
what they do, and
that's
then
what
do
they
that.
do. That's right. That's right. But there's a lot of people out my way that took the job that were hundreds of miles away. I want to say up to, I don't know how far is LA from California? I mean from Oakland. I know it's about 6 hours if you don't have any traffic.
How far? How far is you said? You said would you say how far is LA from Oakland?
LA from Oakland. That's the furthest that I know that someone
It's
was
8 hours.
traveling.
It's about 8 hours. It's about eight. Yeah, it's
Right.
about 8 hours.
I was pushing the gun, so you know that's pretty far to come to a job when you thinking you're gonna telework, but now that's changed. And so, like you were saying that
That's
people thought
changed.
that they were
Yeah.
gonna telework, and that's why they got the job. But one thing that I like is currently now we have the flexibility, but if we show that we're able to maturely come in and get back into the swing of things and make the request to telework, I think that that's something that we need to just, bring forward is, hey, to say, hey, everybody, let's just work together,
Who
get this
you
done.
gonna tell that to though, Rasha? Come on
The
now. Who you
worker,
gonna tell that to?
my team.
What you gonna sell that to?
I'm gonna try
I
to
don't
sell it to the
understand that when you
team.
say that though. We can sell that to someone. Who you gonna sell that to? Because
I'm gonna try to sell it to
it
my
was
team, see what
the
they say.
data wasn't the, the data wasn't bad when people were working at home. The data
Mhm,
wasn't bad, but you
mhm.
just got a person who just
Yeah,
who
I get it.
doesn't like the idea
Of
in
tele
their mind that working from home is
Mhm,
a real type of thing, right? Because back in that person's world, everything was unicorns and lollipops in his world, right? He wants to go back to the time of the 30s, but then bring us into the future in the same breath.
mhm.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
Telework, remote work is progress, right? It's progress.
it is. It's progressive. I totally agree.
It's progressive.
But
Hmm.
some people take
So I don't
advantage
know what I
of
don't know.
they take advantage of certain situations and they make things happen that aren't happening. So what one thing I would like to see is that, the maturity level rise in
Yeah, but
certain
I
areas.
just don't see how that has an effect on telework. I just
Well,
don't see how if
yeah,
people did everything that they should do, how that
then
would
how much to
change
fight for them to
his
keep.
mind about virtual work, remote work, or telework.
Mhm,
I just don't see how that would change his mind.
mhm.
I mean, even if
Well,
we did
I'm just
everything
wishful
right.
thinking. I'm just being, in my little happy place in my mind. So
Well,
hopefully, yeah, you want this?
I
Maybe
will
this
share
will work.
this though.
Take
Listen,
that.
as long as
Take
you
it.
and I know, as long as you and I are comfortable with getting up every day going to work, we
Yeah,
got it. We
we
don't know
got it.
about nobody else.
That's true. You're right. But for me,
You know,
I have some people that I have to think about, but I really only have to think about a couple, not many, because they're new. They're coming in. So
because people were upset about that yesterday. We got that official email and people were losing it. Like, did you hear we got to come back into the
we
building?
gotta come back
Yeah,
in.
but the building was always where we worked at before COVID, before
Mhm.
all of these things made it possible. And we all knew that that national telework agreement was temporary. It could change at any moment. The only people that they're allowing to stay at home right now and work are going to be probably the elderly and the disabled. And they as they
Mm,
should have the option to work from home. Everybody else who is able-bodied need to get up and come into the building,
you're
keep
right.
your paycheck rolling every 2 weeks.
Yeah. But back in the day, the
Right?
elderly and
Like
the
the
disabled,
telework
they came
issue.
in
And I
too.
know the
They
parents
came in
are gonna
absolutely
be,
too.
yeah, but the parents are gonna be dying. Here's what I was telling Sakina last night though. Because the parents are gonna be dying, right? It's the single parents, the parents who, whose work schedule don't necessarily fit with their spouses, things like that. We
Right.
have that subsidy that pay you 900 bucks towards childcare. But what is your $900 going to do when we're talking about the daycare people,
I know.
want
I don't think no
375
yeah.
$400 a week per
Yes.
child, and they
Mhm.
got to watch your kid all day while you come into work. You need to be raising that subsidy. What's $900 going to do? No, if you want,
Right.
I feel like some single parents do have that right to, like, if you want me to come into work full time again,
Mhm.
pay my child care, run
Mhm.
that. Don't
Mhm.
be half-assing the child care. Run that. People
That's
got to
true.
watch your kids all day long to come in, and telework did help people with children create a better work and home balance life. It did.
Right. That was
But if
the
they're talking
result.
about pennies for a child care subsidy,
Because originally, remember, the schools were shut down.
yeah,
And
that's
so
like
they
what we're talking
had to be
about.
there with the kids. So there was no other way. The kids that were in school and the parents were able to work, especially if they were teenagers or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
they,
not an option
they need to
back then.
raise the child care subsidy.
So they do.
And
I
then,
totally
and
agree.
here's the other thing: is stop making cars. I think who's lap. I think that's mine. Is that, are y'all systems going down or is it just mine?
I think it's just yours. But is it making a noise or something? Or
Rasha,
can you hear me? I'm here.
Sakina. Yeah, because I can barely hear. I can. Okay,
Yeah, I can hear you and see you just
because
fine.
Rasha, like I can't. Okay.
I can
Okay,
hear you
because
and see
yeah,
you
mine, I
just
think
fine.
it's going in and out. But another thing we were talking about too was you want people to come in to work, stop making cars $60,000 to own, right? SUVs
Yes.
$100,000 plus. Those SUVs are
Mhm.
crashing out at $140,000 for a brand new one, and a brand new car. We can't find one that's brand new under
Mhm.
60 grand. So what we talking about? You want people to come back into the office. You want people to work, but everything is sky high.
Everything is sky high. And even around our area, where are we gonna eat? Starbucks just closed yesterday. So we've had like I want to say about 5 restaurants closed since last year around this area. So that's quite
Wow.
baffling how the economy is going. And then the area is changing. So those that are commuting, they have to be careful. Those who are driving, people have gotten their cars stolen from outside of the job
Mm-hmm.
before. So it's getting bad. And they're getting their cars broken into. One
Yeah.
lady, she
Yeah.
was mugged on her way in and suffered a really bad injury. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot.
It's a lot. There's definitely a lot going on for sure. But I want to sit here. We're going to keep this a little short today. I want to sit here and introduce you guys to because I'm going to keep Black History Month rolling
Okay.
about Blacks in the workplace and what some of these things going on out here in the world, as if because our workforce, in a minute we're going to have to understand us financially. We're going to have to understand us on a larger scale than just community if we're
Mhm.
going to stay afloat as Black people. We can't just be okay in the one area. We have to be okay in all the areas in order
That's
to
right.
make it through this next wave of fluctuations coming into our society. And so we have to be okay financially. We have to be okay um, in our communities. We have to know what that looks like, what's the need. We have to be okay with other things going on right now. We have to broaden our scope in
Mhm.
order to stay afloat. We just can't do business as usual. And so we do have lots of Black people out here making a difference in the world. We don't know who they all are, but it's nice
Mhm.
to be introduced to other Black people who are contributing at this time, and especially in the workforce, because the workforce is going to be a big theme. I'm glad we caught the wave of it before it actually came crashing down, because again, it's going to be real important this upcoming time to understand what we look like, what our own data says about how we
Right.
work, where we work, the jobs that are available to us, our skill
What
set.
yes, and what ideas we come up with to increase our streams of income.
Yeah, there you go. And to increase our streams of income, it's
Mhm.
going to be
It's
very
time.
important.
It's time. It really is. And we really need to be thinking about economic moves at this point because anything could happen at any time, just like those millionaires in Los Angeles had these $1,000,000 homes. And I believe there were some people that there that were living from paycheck to paycheck. And this is
Absolutely.
all that they had was that equity in that house, if they had equity in that house. And it's down, it's rubble. And some of their insurances are
Mm-hmm.
smashed. So it's amazing to see how things can change so fast. So we need to be grateful for everything that we have. We need to be reflective on what we need to do, and we need to be thinking future. What
Yeah.
does the future lie
Steps
in store
ahead.
for?
We need to be thinking steps ahead. We really do. Steps ahead.
Yes.
We
So
cannot be sitting here comfortable doing business as usual. And I would
yes.
love to have more people, invite some people on the platform that could even talk about additional streams of income. And
Indeed.
no multi-level marketing. I'm tired of that. I want
Yeah.
people
No
to
more.
really
No
create
MLMs.
jobs. Yeah, no programs. Yeah, I want people to really create jobs where they can employ at least 2 other people. That would help so much in a household, in a family, to have consistent employment. So even if you were a startup and you only had 2 people working for your company, it would be great if they could, manage to build and create jobs for at least 1 to 2 people per job creation that we start.
Preferably people in your family.
Yeah,
So the wealth
that's a
remains
start.
inside. And so, we really need to be thinking about creating those streams of income. We need to be thinking about, okay, housing. What is that going to be looking like within the next year or so? How are things going to change? Because now these people
Yeah.
so many people are displaced. Rent is going to be going up, and those people that are wealthy can afford it, and those people who are not will not be able to afford it. So we really need to be thinking about these things.
Exactly. Sakina, you have anything to add?
Your mic.
Did you want to add anything, Sakina?
And she turned on her mic. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, she did.
I'm just listening to y'all, and honestly, I just want to first I want to applaud y'all because this really has been a rough situation, and it's very sensitive to you guys right now. And as I've been watching it, I really don't know how to talk to Gemini, because it's so sensitive. I barely talk to you, Rasha. So I understand this on so many levels, and she be like, no offense, right? And I get it because I've always looked at all of this on one thing that got separated, and now it's 2 things that got separated, and it's a lot of people involved. And so, right now I feel for people, period. Do you see what I'm saying?
They're going through it.
Yeah.
So,
it's heavy. It's really heavy.
Right. And then it's my friend, my sister, but then it's my people.
Let me leave and come back out because y'all still are going choppy.
Okay.
Well, we hear you just fine. We hear each other just fine on this side. Go ahead.
No, I don't hear you guys just fine. You're a little choppy, but let me come back in.
Okay.
And so with this being Black History Month, everything it's a lot like spaghetti. It's a mixture of stuff going on.
It's not even letting me.
Yeah, so
it's not letting me. I guess I better stay.
Yeah.
Okay, we need you to stay.
Stay. Come on.
Yeah, because everybody, I think it's
stay with us.
Once I hit the StreamYard button, what?
Okay, she knocked herself out. But we need to be encouraged. We are our own best encouragement. And so sometimes you just got to encourage yourself. And
no, I'm encouraged. I'm not even discouraged.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not even discouraged. Right now I'm just in wow.
Yeah.
Right. I think this time has come, but I think some of us are looking at this cup as half empty and it's half full. And I think it's gonna hurt before it get better. But I think I think the right people have came at the right time to speak. And again, like we said, I don't know what's to come though, because it's too much being done at one time. So a lot is being done, and then a lot of people are being affected, right? And so
a lot of people are completely being here's the thing though. Okay, so you know, the way that the housing market is right now, when there's a natural disaster, or anytime you have people who are swarming over looking to buy up property after a natural disaster, you know, it increases everything around. So we're going to be talking about relocation, and then possibly literally making certain places exclusive over inclusive.
That's right.
Yeah, a smart LA is something they've been talking about, you know, but it's going to be a exclusive place over versus being inclusive. Who's going to be able to afford it? Who is it for?
Somebody was saying there was
who's it going to benefit?
Some lithium deposits out
there.
there.
No, they have photos. They have photos of the new LA. Remember, I can show these photos of. They show after the congressional meeting. They show it was the after the president's speech. Forbes did a whole thing on. They showed clips of the new LA. Once a while back, we showed a couple of clips of the project of the new LA. And just coincidentally, all of this fires in the Dreas happened. So now here we are. So
in Palisades.
Right. So I can get into that later on tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, it is quite the it's quite the something how they expect everyone to live off these pennies that they give us for these jobs, increase cars, the cost of living for every single thing, and then still say, hey, come to work. And so these streams of income, that Rasha mentioned, we're going to try to sit here and work on that and figure out if we can get some guests to come in to help us with other streams of income. Because at this point, it's necessary. We don't, people may not want to come back into work, but then again, how are people going to support themselves, especially if they're single?
And does it make sense for you to
I'm sorry, you can't say there's no jobs, and then when the jobs are created, and these are factory jobs, these are jobs of money, and if you don't want to work them, then what are you saying?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
These were the first jobs that ever made money. These type of jobs.
Right.
These are the same jobs that left, and now these jobs come back. The American jobs, the American cars, these are the jobs, and now they're back. Now, if you don't want to work them,
what
are we saying?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're going to have to sit here and get into that and make sure we table that, stick a pin in it. We're going to pin that and talk about that, because that is important. What about, our mindset or mentality about the job market that's out there? We were so dissatisfied before, right? Before all of this happened. And now that things, come crashing, we seem to be dissatisfied with other things too. So that's why I said about making sure we're steps ahead. Exactly. It's not just community anymore. It's economic wellness for us within these communities. If he is attempting to get rid of the middle class, then you're talking about the middle class. They have it now, the working, right? The poor is $100,000. The middle class was 200,000 to 400,000. That's still going to be pennies if you're still talking about these outrageous prices, and that's still predicated upon a 2-person household, right? Girlfriend, spouse, married or not, it's still predicated upon a household to get these numbers this high so that you can survive. And so right now at $100,000, it's still considered poor due to inflation.
Yeah, but let's talk about deflation. Well, you can inflate anything you want. Just like you can inflate it, you can deflate it too. So I'm afraid of who I don't see, not who I see in front of me. Because who I see in front of me, they're just working. Whoever has the most money has the most control, and that seems to be what's happening. But if we just need to get ourselves together, mentally, emotional, physically, so that we can do all the things that we think that we want to do, and start, just working what we do naturally. Just like we had the themes that we were talking about previously. I want to be like Annie Malone Turnbull. How about that? You remember Self-Made, you guys?
I don't remember Self-Made.
Self-Made was the movie that they made for Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh, yeah. The one that was on, yeah.
But the lady,
I didn't catch it.
Who actually had the business, the little red-haired lady, the white lady, her name is actually, she's patterned after Annie Malone Turnbull, who is actually the person who had a multi-million-dollar business during that time. And this is who Madam C.J. Walker, this is her mentor, Annie Malone Turnbull. She had businesses. Go ahead.
I was looking through Amazon the other day, though. You can see Madam C.J. Walker too. Her time, because timing is everything too, right? And so natural hair, her products were for natural hair, and I've seen a lot of women, start their natural hair products. Exactly. So people like, my hair, Sakina here, where we're wearing, your hair. We have, natural hair. The natural hair care business is something that we can jump into, but then we have that oversight with that big product from that one Black lady who starts with the M. Was it Milani or something like that? Millennial or Milani. She got into trouble because her hair care products too were, causing all types of scalp irritations and things.
Miel.
It starts with the Miel. There you go. And so when we are,
I thought it was sold.
She hadn't. I don't think she did at that time because they were all going back to her. Now, I didn't hear her side of the story on exactly what happened, but we have to, do that thing too, where we have making sure that when we do start these businesses, that we have strict oversight, and that we have, the ability to own our product in full. So there's some things that, when we are talking about job creation for us, and we're taking it to, and we're making it national, we're making it big, that we making sure that too, we are taking time to cultivate our business, whatever it is, so that we don't come out on the losing end of even that, getting, being sued and having to pay for lawyers and things of that nature too. But I did see a bunch of women and men who are, who are into the natural hair care business.
Because I was thinking about Carol's daughter too. Carol's daughter sold as well.
Yeah, she did sell hers, and I did not know that.
Yeah, so the product integrity started to change. So that's what I'm thinking happened with Mael. She sold as well, and so the product integrity started to change because of the sale of that, that brand.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get into, and I understand that women want to start the hair care, natural hair care products, and then sell it for a profit. But we're talking about, again, how does that make us feel that, like you said, when the integrity is compromised and it messes up our scalp, and then you keep a Black face on there and a white company owns it, like that makes me feel some type of way. Don't create it. You're gonna sell it, and you're going to, stamp and approve, hey, that this product is solid, and you sell it.
You brought up a great point.
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah,
there was
how we're feeling about that.
I think there was an article, and it was showing who the CEOs were for these major companies that had, these names like Shea Moisture, because Shea Moisture they were started by a Black company, but a lot of them are owned by
everything
people that don't look like us. A lot of them are owned by people that don't look like us. So it's interesting how the shift happens.
Yeah, we're gonna,
but
again, but we're gonna need our equity in these businesses. Yeah, don't be selling these hair care. Don't create a business and then turn around and sell it, because right now we need equity in these businesses. Look what has happened. We need to be owning all anything that we create.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have we need to be owning it in full. I don't think always selling it is the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense for some things, but it doesn't make sense for all things. Some things we need to keep within our,
mm-hmm.
within our grasp when we create companies, because that's the point of creating a company too, and putting a really great product out there for everyone to sell. To purchase, is because you've come up with this great product that is solely ours. And so when we sell them to, the bigger companies, and like you said, they lose integrity and they make patches, because that Mylel, people were losing their hair, and I don't think that was a good look for her. I think she worked too hard to let that go down like that.
It's a lot of stuff that were started by us. I want to say Webband. Webband was started by a Black man. I want to say Oakland, San Francisco area. And he came up with all of this major stuff that he was doing back in the early 90s that no one was doing. He was sending food like Uber Eats, or he was shopping.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
All of these companies came out of this one Black man's idea. So we have stuff that we have that we create. Even with healthcare, Black Panthers did a lot of work to start healthcare initiatives with checking for sugar diabetes, starting early lunch school programs. Paratransit, you think that the county and city started that? No, Black Panther started that. So it's a lot of things that we start that people take ownership of, that we lose control over. And I don't know if it's not I believe it's by design, that we have to really take a look at what's been going on year after year after year. When you see people that are coming up, they're making strides in business and they're selling products, who is buying their products, or who is offering to take over. So that's something that we need to think about.
Yeah. Well, okay, ladies, let's sit here and get into it. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play the video first.
Okay.
Because I don't know much. So I don't know if I'm going to play the PowerPoint first or the first. So let's start it off with Meet the Historian, Blair LM Kelly. So let me sit and share my screen here. And this video is about 5 minutes. I'm not going to play the entire thing, but just enough to get a introduction.
Wow.
Oh, hold on.
It looks like it's trying to come up, but I don't see anything yet.
Okay,
all right,
here we go.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's see. I think my side too is a little slow.
Okay. It's coming. It looks like it just went away. Now it's coming back. Looks like it's trying to start. Okay, I can hear it.
Okay. Oh, good.
My name is Blair LM Kelly. I'm a professor, associate professor of history here at North University. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I've been in North Carolina since the mid-90s.
It's going a little fast.
North Carolina, probably. So I was a lawyer. I enjoyed my history classes. I was always a history major. And I began to look at my own professors and say, wow, they seem to have such an interesting life. They're not spending their time answering someone else's questions. Hey, they are really involved in their own inquiry. They are answering their own questions. They have very amazing autonomy in the classroom to shape the classroom that are interested in them, that are driving their own research. So that's when I really like being a professor. And I researched this, and the first book were African Americans who were fighting back against laws as they would have. The social movement had undergirded making change for African Americans in the early 20th century. A big part of my first book. My second book will push me further into the 20th century on African American women's rights and their in the job market and their fair treatment of Americans. It's a very, very different kind of look at the African American. Because I have a naturally chatty disposition, and I like engaging with people. I like engaging with ideas. I like things to be contested and messy, and I enjoy that giving. Teaching is not the easiest thing that I do. Sometimes students take a whole variety of reasons which are not really want to hear from Kelly. They're requirement at this many hours, and so you sometimes have audiences that aren't interested in what you're doing. So to draw that student now, to make that student sort of engage with ideas of it, really learn something, it's quite exciting. And it's challenging to really draw them out and get them thinking like this way, and get them working in the real materials of the field and understanding that for themselves. It's an amazing opportunity to do that. So I teach the African American Survey, the history of the Civil Rights Movement. I teach oral history to graduate students. And just as a basically all that. Right? And it invites students from all kind of campuses or all participating this semester. And it's a class that really talked about the history of race in the South in the 20th century, and experiencing the great book of that history, and really confronting this history of race with the two professors providing similar perspectives, but then each of us has a unique approach to the question of this history and this culture over time. So it's an amazing opportunity to work off line, always an opportunity to interact with students and community members who may not have encountered the traditional course that I'm teaching here at state. And so it's really a great opportunity to communicate these ideas to a broader audience and to collaborate in a way that really enlivens the idea.
Hi. So that is Professor Kelly. Are you guys able to see the slideshow?
It's still showing Professor Kelly right now.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay, so let me. Okay. So her latest book is called The Roots of the Black Working Class.
Okay.
You can get this on Amazon. The paperback is about $22. The audio books is about $12 to $14, depending on if it's Audible or Kindle. And you can pre-order it. This is a book that's coming out. It's pre-ordered. You have to pre-order it. She has several other books as well. She has this one here too, The Right to Die, the streetcar boycott and African American citizenship in the era of Plessy versus Ferguson. So Blair LM Kelly, she's a Ph.D. She's an award-winning author and historian and scholar of the African American experience. She's a dedicated historian, right? She works to amplify the histories of Black people, chronicling the everyday impact of their activism. Their activism, she means their everyday life and the things that they were fighting for. So this is her body of work. So she has lots of bodies of work. So I thought I'd throw in here her peer-reviewed publications, which she has quite a bit of work here. And I wanted to throw in there peer-reviewed, since we're talking about her peer-reviewed work. She has a large body of work. So I thought we would just, in my fashion, take this as a learning moment to find out what is peer review, because we hear that largely, and we hear that in our collective too all the time, about is that person's work, has it been peer reviewed? And peer reviewed is key, and it holds a lot of weight when people are throwing around books and work from another supposed author. Right. So this peer review is going to hold a considerable amount of weight. And that's something that people are always asking outside of sources. Right. You hear them ask, they're going to ask for sources first, and then they're going to want to know, has that book been peer reviewed? Has your body of work ever been peer reviewed? And hers has considerably. So peer review articles are scholarly articles that are evaluated by a panel of experts, being the key word expert, in the same field or topic before actual publication. So peer review is a process of quality control that aims to ensure the validity, quality, originality, and significance of the articles. Peer review is used to maintain the integrity of science and improve, that says medical knowledge, but improve the knowledge of the work. So what is the purpose of peer review? Many academic fields use peer review largely to determine whether a manuscript is suitable for publication. Peer review enhances the credibility of the manuscript. And for this reason, academic journals are among the most credible sources you can refer to. So in our collective, when they get to screaming peer review, now you know what a peer review is. Professional editors proofread and edit the paper by focusing on academic style, vague sentences, grammar, style, and consistency. And also there are other types of peer reviews, right? There's a single blind peer review, there's a double blind peer review, a triple blind peer review, collaborative review, and an open review.
So the blind reviews are people don't know who's writing. They're just looking at it, and it's just something that they're given, and they don't know what, or who is behind it, so they can give their honest opinion.
Yes.
That's not, convoluted with, okay, I don't like this person, so I'm going to give them a bad review.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is good, which is always good to have honest feedback.
Right.
So this is a little bit about the peer review process, right? First, the author submits the manuscript to the editor. Then the editor can either reject the manuscript and send it back to the author, or send it onward to the selected peer reviewers. Next, the peer review process occurs, and the reviewer provides feedback addressing any major or minor issues with the manuscript, and give their advice regarding what edits should be made. And then lastly, the edited manuscript is sent back to the author. They input the edits and resubmit to the editor for publication. So I kind of like that. You know, you see why the peer review process is important.
Yeah, because I've read books before where like, who read over this? Because some of these words are not right, or something's misspelled, or something's out of place. It's not grammatically correct. So that's very important.
Exactly. For people, especially for people who are rushing and just want to get their book out there. Right.
Well, look, we need to take our time while we write our book. So for those of you who are aspiring authors out there, this is some good information. Dropping gems.
So first, dropping gems.
Can I add though?
Yes,
this is good. This is very good because I actually own a couple of these books right now, and they actually say that the book is not
peer review.
It says it's not published, right? And it leads to something to this this very reason, and so I think I can pull it up. Not probably because I packed some of my books, so but I still think I might can pull it up. But yeah, for this kind of reason right here that you did, for this reason you're doing this. So yes, and so they actually end up they might sell the book, and they put some kind of stamp on it for that very reason as well. You see what I'm saying? Because either the book later on got it's able to sell now because of the changes or what have you and what may. And so you're very right. I agree with you wholeheartedly for this very process. And so the old book got changes and whatnot in it, and the new book has whatever stamp or whatever I got on mine.
Well, it's the reason too why they also to let you know first edition, second edition, third edition. There's a reason for that.
Right, but this one says something like copy or something, and it can't be sold and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So they submit the article, then there's the first submission round, then there's an acceptance for the second round, then there's a peer review, then there's a final revision, and it's either accepted for publication or not, and then it is published. And so that's the way that process goes. That's the way that process goes for most established book writers, authors, and the like. So if your book is going to be rejected, it's rejected somewhere between the first round submission and the peer review before they before the final revision. Yeah. So they make you go back to the drawing board, for this reason. So Kelly is currently, right, the Joel R. Williamson Distinguished Professor of Southern Studies at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and the incoming director of the Center for Study of the American South, the first Black woman to serve in that role. She is the first woman to serve in that role in its 30-year history.
That's significant.
Very. And that's why I said she is Blair LM Kelly. She is very popular. It wasn't until I started, trying to just do a little bit of research about her did I learn more of, about her. She's been out for a long time, however, she's really seemed to be very popular right about now. And that's probably because she's very distinguished. She is very distinguished for a Black woman. I absolutely love that.
Right.
And so this is the commercial. We have to have our commercial for our sponsor over at Miscellaneous Staffing, right, with Miss Latasha Crawford. If anyone is looking for a job, and especially now, since people don't like the idea of coming home. Yeah, she has plenty of plenty of teleworking jobs for you, remote jobs and virtual jobs. Just in case you don't want to go back into the office, you might want to take down Latasha Crawford's number and make an appointment to see what she has available.
I always tell everyone, if you don't like the job you're at, always keep looking. Keep sending those applications out. Let them tell you no. You never know what's going to hit when it's supposed to hit. So Latasha is there if you are looking for any type of pretty much business. She has her hand on the pulse of the business industry, so she can find you a job in the area that you're looking for. And of course, you can see her website at www.miscstaffing.com, and the phone number is
Latasha
565-2358. She's a certified business development workforce
developer. I know.
Developer.
We need to fix that. Yeah.
Okay, so you should have had me editing. I'm teasing.
Yeah, I should have had this peer review.
For the peer review. See, we learn as we go. We listen, and we don't judge.
Exactly. That part right there. That part right there.
Don't judge.
So just to reiterate, Blair LM Kelly is author, Ph.D. Her latest book is called The Roots of the Black Working Class. It's called Black Folk, The Roots of the Black Working Class. So if you want to purchase this book, and we probably will, just so we can read it and come back and talk about it a little later on, for a later show. But so far, she is, she's fantastic. She's a person that you should go learn more about. She has tons of videos on YouTube, tons of work, body of work. She is a person that I think understands the Black working class, and I want to hear. I look forward to hearing more about what she has to say about us in this situation. So let me stop sharing. Okay, so that is our introduction of Miss Blair Kelly. And I, again, thought I'd just throw in that peer review because, that's something that they're always hollering is this peer review, It's that book peer review. Oh, that book is not credible. It hasn't even been peer reviewed. They throw that word around all the time. And so I wanted to, give us a little background on what an actual peer review was and what the process looks like.
Good information.
And then and we kind of went on, slightly just talking about the telework situation. So
yes.
We don't know what's coming next. Yeah, don't know what's coming up next because this tax season is filled with lots of ups and downs. It is a complete roller coaster ride at this point. And so, we know what we get our information by people who give it to us late in the game,
just like right when the game is about to end, we just got the information.
Exactly.
No, get first, second, third quarter. No, we down to seconds, and you just now telling us.
Yeah, that's the way they operate.
I like that you brought up Dr. What's her name again? Blair. This is my first time knowing her, so I definitely need to spread my wings and start looking outside of my specific area because we have gone to North Carolina. My daughter actually went to Columbia University in South Carolina. I'm sorry, she went to Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina, And we went to Chapel Hill when we went to go visit out there for a conference, and so that's amazing to hear. We definitely need to broaden our horizons to know what's going on in the world, and not worry about who's getting indicted for what. We need to just start broadening our horizons, because this is my first time hearing of her, and so I'm amazed, proud, and
she's so popular, and I was like, wow, again, and I think as we do these shows too, it kind of gives us that enthusiasm to want to learn more.
Yes.
Right, to want to learn more about what we're doing.
Hey, they're doing it. So back during this time when Blacks were colored had the initiative to work and start their own businesses, we were thriving back then. But all of a sudden, we just got this economic shove and halt. Stuff stopped happening. We started seeing stuff like Lahaina in LA in the communities for some reason. And for me, I still have questions about our intellectual property. Why is it not held in our hands? How come that keeps moving from place to place like it's a vagabond? So I got issues with that. So I want to broaden my horizons and start learning more stuff, and not be worried about who's doing what in the political realm. I need to be knowing what Rasha's doing in her political realm. How about
yes?
How about what she got coming
absolutely,
in?
Absolutely.
Because I'm getting ready to go do some detox and make sure I'm getting myself together. I'm doing my habit stacking as we discussed in our last guest, Chilimwe.
That was
I'm really learning a lot. So this has been an amazing ride.
Well, I appreciate that. I know a little bit about a lot of things. And I have not decided to be the master of anything until
we gonna be
year.
The masters, mistresses.
Until this year. This year is the first year that I'm, kind of packed away. Said, okay, I'm too full in one area, and I have to begin to start talking about some things that I do know, that I do understand, so that I can make room to start learning more about some other things that I may not have enough understanding about, And so we have to, we do have to have that self-awareness when we know that it is time to grow again, to relearn some things that maybe are outdated, and to always stay forward, progressive minded. And that's what I like to be, forward, progressive minded, and introduce all of these other things that are happening around us. Because again, if we're going to survive as a people, we have to start getting more connected to some of the newer things about who we are and what we're out here doing. There's lots of people doing amazing things out here, but what do we know about it? Because our job has us so busy, things have us so busy, and it's time for a paradigm shift.
Yeah, we wrapped up in the who's this and who in their music album. Who cares? Well, what are we doing? You know? And then, as you sounded like my pastor a minute ago, his favorite phrase is to grow, glow, and go. And that's what I'm going to do. In 2025, it's on and popping.
It's on and popping in 2025. Yeah, we're going to broaden what we think we know. Yeah, and start adding some things that we should know over what we think we know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it'll be nice. I'm going to work on trying to get some, some other guests here too, again, because I really want this to be an inclusive platform where our entrepreneurs can get in here too and start talking about the ways of economic development in the future, and where they see themselves fitting in all of this, because right now all the money is into big tech. And so pretty much if we are not, it being introduced to what big tech actually is, what that looks like, how it gets, and how do we start to compete for some of these contracts that are available and that's out there, right? It's like we don't have to be number one. We don't have to be on top to the point we're at the tip top of the pyramid, but we need to be somewhere in there creating our stability. Our stability is somewhere wrapped up in between all of this.
I was thinking about
and we
the
start to, we have to start get our minds reconditioned out of the old and into something else. And what that all looks like, I don't know, but we definitely need to start modifying and making some changes and heading towards a different direction.
Yes. I was thinking about Pam Courtney Brown. She was deciding to whether or not what type of mansion she wanted to buy. And when she went into the neighborhood, it didn't seem welcoming to her. So she went and bought her a whole neighborhood out in Arkansas. And she's doing it. She didn't got so many blocks of houses. It's not even funny. So there's women out there that's doing major things. Pam Courtney Brown, Little Rock, Arkansas, I believe. So we need to get on that level. We need to do what we're supposed to be
get on that level. Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah. The level up is real.
Yeah.
The level up is real. The level up is absolutely real.
Right.
So, so Sakina, let me see. Roundtable Game, RTG says, Sakina, are you also doing your show?
Yes, I am. Sakina? Yes, I am. I think I'm coming right back. I think I need about 30 minutes because I know something's supposed to be going on later with Sonetta, so I need to be bouncing right back.
Are you coming back in 30 minutes?
Yeah, I just need about 30 minutes. I need to throw this right back together. I need to throw something into it.
Okay, well, the gang's all here.
Right. The gang is all here. Okay, so then we will sit here and meet back. And thank you so much for everyone that tuned in today for the show. We will be back, of course, next week, next Saturday, with another interesting introduction to another person out here in our community doing big things and making sure that we're okay collectively. We are independent, but a collective mindset is a little bit better than just being out there on your own. So find your tribe, get in where you can fit in,
and everyone's responsible for how they grow. So if you want to grow yourself, keep your mind sharp and start making those moves that you need to make. I am convinced that I can do anything I want to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop playing with myself. I'm playing in my own face. I'm going to stop playing in Rosh's face. She was like, I want to do this. I don't feel good. My shoulder hurts. I need to lay down. I'm sleepy. I need to get some stuff done. We need to get some stuff done. So let's work together, encourage each other, continue to check in with each other, because that's really important. I think that even if the economy is going its own way, we need to go in the opposite direction of the economy and start moving and making those moves, eating right. I was listening to this person that's talking about how they use BPH in the canned foods. BPH is synthetic estrogen. So you mean they've been giving us estrogen all this time, making them, so it's in our food. So it's no weapon formed against us is going to prosper. We just need to get over our emotional damage and start making those smart moves, making the next best move.
What is BPH?
Well, that needs to be somebody's job. That needs to be somebody's job to have oversight of the things that's going. And I think, but let me stop saying that, because there are lots of people on YouTube whose job it is to oversight all the chemical breakdown and read the back of the can type of situation and give us a breakdown of what's in our food.
Is
somebody over that
preservative to stop bacteria from growing, in the can or whatever, but it
is somebody over that. It's somebody over that.
They over everything, and the same company's name keep coming up. I'm not gonna say their name. They in the medical field, they behind the pharmaceuticals, they in our grocery stores, they're probably legislating our housing and regulating our transportation. One company keep coming up. So
okay, well, Sakina, sounds like we have a good next show coming up. I'm going to sit here and get off of here so that we can sit here and have all these other things to sit and talk about.
Chat. Yes, come back and talk about a little bit of that.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So give us 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yep.
Give us 30 minutes.
Give us 30 minutes and we're going to be back with Miss Sakina-Ra, and she's going to break it down for us.
And smoking conversations.
Smoking conversations.
Yeah. All right. Till next week, ladies. See you on the next show.
Yes.
Next week.
Yes.
See you guys.